Have you ever heard of a man who was an instrument of God's judgment, yet also a vessel of his mercy? It sounds like a paradox, doesn't it? Today we're diving into the fascinating story of Nebuzaradan, a figure from the Bible who played a crucial and often overlooked role in the history of Israel. His story is a powerful lesson in obedience, power, and the unexpected ways God works through people. Nebuzaradan wasn't an Israelite. He was a Babylonian, the captain of the guard for King Nebuchadnezzar, one of the most powerful rulers in the ancient world. His name itself meant something like Nebo has given a seed, showing his allegiance to a foreign deity. His job was grim. He was the commander of destruction, the man sent to execute judgment. When the time came for Jerusalem to face the consequences of its disobedience to God, it was Nebuzaradan who led the charge. Imagine the scene, a mighty army at the gates of a city destined for ruin. The Bible tells us in the book of 2 Kings and Jeremiah that Nebuzaradan carried out his orders with ruthless efficiency. He burned the temple of the Lord, the king's palace, and all the great houses of Jerusalem. He broke down the city walls and carried the people into exile in Babylon. From a human perspective, he was a conqueror, an enforcer for a foreign king. But from a divine perspective, he was fulfilling a prophecy. God had warned his people for centuries through prophets like Jeremiah, and now the judgment had come. Nebuzaradan was, unknowingly, acting as God's hand. This is where the story takes a fascinating turn. It would be easy to paint Nebuzaradan as a simple villain, a merciless destroyer. But the Bible gives us a more nuanced picture. It shows us that even in the midst of executing a harsh decree, there is room for choice, for compassion. King Nebuchadnezzar gave Nebuzaradan a specific command concerning the prophet Jeremiah. He was told, "Take him and look after him. Don't harm him, but do for him whatever he asks." Think about that. The commander of destruction was ordered to become a protector, and Nebuzaradan obeyed. He didn't just follow the letter of the law. He showed genuine care. He pulled Jeremiah out of a muddy cistern where he had been left to die, and gave him a choice: come to Babylon and be cared for, or stay in the land of Judah. When Jeremiah chose to stay, Nebuzaradan gave him provisions and a gift, and let him go. This wasn't the act of a heartless brute. It was the act of a man who, despite his role, could recognize and respect a man of God. But it didn't stop with Jeremiah. Nebuzaradan also dealt with the remaining people in the land. He left behind some of the poorest people to work the vineyards and fields. He showed a degree of discernment, separating the defiant from the humble. Those who resisted were dealt with according to the laws of war, but those who sought to live peacefully were given a chance. It's a powerful reminder that wielding great power comes with great responsibility. The story implies that those in authority are constantly tested. Will they choose cruelty and pride, or will they choose discernment and even compassion when possible? Nebuzaradan's story teaches us a profound lesson. Strength without humility can lead to ruin, but obedience, when tempered with righteousness and compassion, honors God. He was a pagan commander serving a pagan king, yet he played a pivotal role in God's divine plan. He shows us that God can use anyone from any background to accomplish his purposes. He was an instrument of wrath, but through his small acts of righteousness sparing Jeremiah. Caring for the poor, he also became an instrument of God's providence. His story challenges us to look beyond the surface. It asks us to consider our own roles. We may not be commanders of armies, but we all have some measure of power or influence in our own lives, our families, our workplaces, our communities. How do we wield it? Do we act with pure, unthinking force, or do we temper our actions with wisdom, discernment, and compassion? Nebuzaradan, the commander of destruction, reminds us that even in the most difficult circumstances, there is always an opportunity to choose a better way to honor God through our actions and to be a surprising vessel of His grace. Thanks so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the incredible stories of the Bible. Let me know in the comments what you think about Nebuzaradan's role. See you in the next video.